And I think about that now. When I was 10 years old, and I was making dresses for women, black and white, big and slender. I don't know how I did that, do you? I said, by the grace of God, He helped me. I've always believed in Jesus since I was a small child. Now, Melvin Peoples, my brother, and when I was, and was a child between us, and when I was the only child, I believed in Jesus. I don't know why, but y'all won't get scared or encouraged or something, will you?
No,
about things I'm talking about them. I would see spirits, and since I've been here, I've saw them. And one thing I don't understand, and when things like that happen to me, it don't leave easy. You know, forgetting. I went to bed and I wasn't asleep. No sooner I laid down, a little girl started walking down the side of my bed, and she got all the way almost to my head and disappeared. I think it was a spirit. You know, it might have been one of my children. All my children was alive when they started and dead when they got here in about 15 or 20 minutes. We did the whole thing. And I think that may have been one of the wanted me to stop worrying about it. But I did start leaving my mind every once in a while to think about it. And sometimes when people want to know my, you know, whatever you call it. Now, I have trouble with English. I didn't start using a lot of English till I came over here because my mother was a Cherokee and my father, he was a black Indian. And the words that they used for things was what they grew up with, I imagine. And so their children started doing that too. And by the time I got over here, I got where I could understand what people were saying, but they later would tell, after I got used to it, that how I would be talking and telling them about things and telling them how to do something and they wasn't understanding it. It made me feel real bad. So I taken a 9-month course of English, but I don't think it worked too well.
No, it worked fine. Sounds like it worked just fine.
It worked good.
So, growing up and living in Champaign-Urbana?
No, I didn't grow up in.
I mean, I know you didn't grow up. I mean, living in,
yeah.
Once you moved here, how was that? Did you like it or did you dislike it?
Well, I liked it because all of my sisters and brothers had left where I was living, where we grew up after we left Oklahoma. And my father, he kind of mean person, and he brought my mother to Arkansas. That way, if he wanted to be mean to her, her folks would kill him. You think it should be that way? You think he should have stayed on there in Oklahoma?
I couldn't say, I don't know.
So, did you and your family attend church when you lived here?
When they lived where?
When you moved here or when you were living on the
My
reservation?
mother always did. And when I came here, well, still, I'm trying to get those other things out of my mind, you know, where when I came here, I was having a hard time with, and I didn't know why. People look at each other, look at me funny, but they want me to tell them about things. And I found out I was using a lot of the Cherokee words. And so I put those things out of my mind. Now I can't remember most of it. And that's good because if I was using it, who was going to understand me?
So, do you remember anything about 1978?
78?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see. When did I move over here? This is 79. No, 78. I told you after my head got hit, my remember comes and goes. But I came here in, I think it was 51. in 78. I've been here for about 14 years. Trying to push that back. How far back is that?
So about 30 years? 30 years about?
No.
Oh.
14 years.
Oh, okay.
Last year I was here.
Oh, okay.
What year was that? 14 years? This would be 15 years now.
1996.
Is that right?
Yeah.
1996, is that
Might
right?
been. My head is getting better and my remembrance is getting better, but it seemed to be slow. But I know that because when I was a nurse for 9 years, did I tell y'all that? And I learned a lot of things about how to do and what to do when you have problems or anything, and it has helped me a lot. But I'm gradually getting rid of the headache. It's not completely gone. I had already read when I studied to be a nurse, when you get old, it takes you longer to heal. And did you know that?
Oh, I did.
And with me being the age I was, well, it has taken a long time, but I'm a whole lot better. Things keep coming to me now, just like, you know, I remember this, that, or the other, and I had forgotten it. And sometimes when I'm trying to think about it. And the other thing that helped me, when people kept asking me about things, want me to tell them this, that, and the other, I learned myself not to do that to people. Do you know that slows them down with their remembrance? It does something. You knew that. Well, that's good. I hope you kind of tell people too about it so they'll understand. Kind of maybe get easier on it.
So do you remember anything about the mural on Park Street? The mural that was done on the what building was it?
The what?
At the corner of 5th and Park Street, the Park Street mural that was done there. Do you remember anything about that?
The mural?
Mm-hmm.
Something they put up?
On the wall?
It was a picture. Do we have a picture of the mural? No.
Was it a picture
On a wall.
on my wall?
Painted. They painted a picture on the wall.
They,
It was about wasn't like a block up from her house because she was across the street from Salem. It was about a block up from your house.
In the 600 block?
Yes, ma'am. And it was they painted the wall with people, and they talked about the black experience and what African Americans and have done, and some on other races, and they also talk about the ancient times and just giving a general history about us, you know. So I mean, what does that make you feel? How does that make you feel that, you know, we have that history?
I feel all right, but it tickled me because I'm part of 6 different races. My father was 3, my mother was 3. That makes me 6, don't it?
Yes, ma'am.
But I never think about it. And I used to look like that picture up there, but I think I look different now. And I used to be mistaken for white people all the time. And I hated that too, because I wanted to be thought of as my race, you know, African.
Right.
And I cared as much for white people as I did color, because some of my folks was blood white people, you know, through my mother. And my father, his black Indians. And my father had his straight hair. I think after my mother, all the other children had coarse hair like my father, and mine is real tiny. It's strands. See how? See, it's not coarse.
But it's not as bad as a lot are, you know.
No.
It looks wonderful. All you have to do, you get some grease in it, comb it out real nice, it'll be beautiful.
You know, I said I was going to start oiling my scalp when I wash it. I didn't wash it today because it hasn't had anything on it in over 4 years but soap and water.
Oh.
I wanted it to look more African.